Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Everybody?
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare
Hare Rama, Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare Rama,
Rama, Rama
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Hare,
Krishna.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Hare, Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Hare, Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
So, thank
Hare
you.
Krishna.
So now you all got this. Huh? So when we sing like this, Hare Krishna mantra, it is very calming to the mind. So just 1 minute, I'll make you. So last week, whatever we saw, we are going to just quickly go through it and then we are proceeding with the next session today. So we will always begin with a short kirtan like this, Hare Krishna Kirtan. Because the word mantra means that which gives freedom to the mind. Just like a bird kept in a cage has lost its freedom. But when you release the bird from the cage and let it fly in the free sky, that is the freedom for the bird. Similarly, our mind is trapped by various misgivings like lust and anger and greed and pride and envy, revengeful attitudes, malice, and so many bad things. The soul is always divine, but the soul is covered by the mind, which has many impurities. And as the impurities are increased, then we are more trapped. We become more entangled, like the bird entangled in a cage. But when you sing Mahamantra like this, Hare Krishna, it is very calming to the mind. It's like a healing balm for the mind. Actually, chanting Hare Krishna is like feeding the soul, the most nourishing eatables. Just like when you eat nourishing eatables, you get healthier. In the same manner, chanting of the holy name is like a food for the soul. It is food for the soul. At the same time, it cleanses the mind of its impurities. Like taking a wet cloth and wiping a dirty mirror. Then you can see your face clearly in that mirror. Similarly, you will see in every religion, there is a method of chanting. Like you might have seen Christians chant Hail Mary, and Muslims chant Namaz. Similarly, Buddhists chant Namo Abhida Butsu. They also have a mantra. Similarly, if you see the Sikhs, they have a chanting of Va He Guru. Va for Vasudev, Ha for Hari, Ga for Govinda, Ra for Rama. So all four combined, they chant Va He Guru, they chant. Similarly, we chant Hare Krishna. So this kind of repetitive uttering of the name of the Lord with a prayerful mood, requesting Him to purify our heart and accept us, cleanse us of our impurities. So this kind of prayer is very effective, very powerful. So you all can sing this Hare Krishna and you can chant this Hare Krishna. And we do it as a daily practice, just like you brush your teeth every day. Similarly, chanting Hare Krishna is like brushing our mind every day. Then we can clean the mind. Similarly, you feed yourself with food, grains to get stronger. Similarly, chanting of the holy name is like feeding the soul, making the soul stronger. You get the spiritual strength. How do you know somebody has got spiritual strength? Like Arjuna is having spiritual strength by hearing the Bhagavad Gita. So crying Arjuna becomes confident Arjuna. Unmotivated Arjuna becomes motivated Arjuna. Cowardly Arjuna becomes a heroic Arjuna. You can see that. Because he heard the holy divine message from Lord Krishna's mouth and he emerged as a very great devotional hero. Okay, now let's, so I was telling about the chanting of the holy name till now. Now let's proceed with the lesson. I'm going to share that lesson with you. Last time what we saw, we quickly see that revision of that 5 minutes and then we proceed with the next lesson today, okay? So this is what we saw last time, putting principle before penny. Okay, we will quickly go through the slides what we saw last time and then. So principle, Arjuna was principle based, whereas Duryodhana was penny based. It was only after economic, his own welfare. He never cared for the Pandavas, he said. So these are the different lessons we have completed in the past. From me to be consciousness, align with the sacred Lord, not with one's crooked thoughts. Ask for God's company or pocket's penny, or his pocket's penny. Lord who never fails in his love for his devotees. And then putting principle before the penny. So, so Arjuna was considering these principles. How can I kill my friends and family members? Even if I kill them and defeat them and win the battle, how can I enjoy without them? Our sin will overcome us. Our family traditions will be vanquished. Should I fight or not? So he was thinking like this. Whereas Duryodhana was hell-bent on finishing Pandavas and ruling the world himself. So now 5 reasons we told you last time. Out of 5, 4 reasons we told you. Arjuna's compassion for the sinful enemies on the other side, and Arjuna's considering of enjoyment. Even if I finish all of them and become a king, I won't be able to show off to anybody. Actually, this has got some enjoying mentality in Arjuna, because Arjuna is a pure devotee. He is not a conditioned soul, but he is playing the part of a conditioned soul to teach all of us, because Krishna is using him as an instrument for our sake, like that. And yeah. And then fear of sinful reactions, because Arjuna is pious, a devotee of the Lord. He is afraid that how can we do anything that will bring us sins. And then destruction of family tradition is when all the men will die in the battle, the women will become polluted and the family traditions will be lost. That is, and then last one is indecision. So 5 things. So now I will not elaborate on this, because we have seen it last time. I'm just showing you this. The first argument is compassion. He saw the other people army, and then he became compassionate, and body started trembling, lips started quivering, and all that we showed. So this is not due to spiritual ecstasy he is trembling, he is due to medical condition, fear of loss of relatives. Actually, nobody will be lost, because bodies of the relatives are temporary and soul is permanent, which will be taught in the 2nd chapter of the Gita. But because he is seeing everybody as a body, therefore he is trembling. Even all of us in our life also, when Krishna will teach us eventually, the 2nd chapter, when we go beyond the bodily consciousness, you can become free from all fear. Like one boy was talking to me recently that now one of his relatives passed away in the COVID. So it was very much painful for him, and he was crying day and night. But then he happened to come to the Gita classes. When he heard that the soul never dies, and the soul has 2 coverings, the covering of the body and mind over the soul. Only the body is burned in the graveyard, but the soul never dies. The soul carries the mind with the desires and goes to the next body. It accepts another body. Just like you talk about energy. Energy can neither be created nor destroyed. Energy disappearing in one form reappears in another form without any loss again, isn't it? So, so that is, we talk about material energy like that. In the same manner, soul is also spiritual energy. And why do we use the word energy? The soul is a person. Nevertheless, we use the word spiritual energy because energy is subordinate to energetic. Supreme Lord is energetic, and his material and spiritual energies are below him. Just like, for example, Krishna, God, is a maintainer. We are maintained. He is a controller. We are controlled. He is master. We are servant. He is protector, and we are protected. He is predominator. We are predominated. He is like a father. We are like children. So therefore, we are called Prakriti. Prakriti means that which is maintained. And Purusha means one who is maintainer. Therefore, we use the word Purusha and Prakriti, maintainer and maintained, like that. So when this boy came to know that his mother is not died, she is safe, and she has gone to the next body, he became completely free from suffering. So later, after a month, when he met me, he told me, actually, now when I see Radha and Krishna, the deities of the Lord, I am very confident my mother is with them. Because Lord is eternal and the soul is also eternal. So Lord will take care of them. He has become very confident. Now he has become peaceful now. Otherwise, he was weeping for quite some time. So Arjuna also was taught by Krishna in the 2nd chapter. He will teach him. So the soul never dies. Even if all these warriors die in the battle, they are just changing their bodies. They will leave the current sinful body and they'll become rid of sins. And then they will take another body subsequently, because these people would have got the punishment for their nefarious behavior, so sinful activities. And then they will take another body. So therefore, this point about Arjuna's compassion for this first point. And then there was a point about argument. Second argument was enjoyment. Oh, if everybody is finished in the battle, Krishna, whom can I show off to? Actually, he is portraying the condition of all of us in this world. We have a desire to do something great and show off. So therefore, he is also teaching us this. But actually, Arjuna is a pure devotee, but he is teaching us that everybody thinks in terms of my enjoyment. Therefore, he was weeping. When we think of God's enjoyment, then we will just faithfully follow God's instruction. When we think about our enjoyment, there is pleasure, pain, honor, dishonor, all these problems come. When we think about our own enjoyment. So we talked about that. So we showed this one. In this world, there are plural subordinates and singular supreme in every field. You can see that. We showed about company or the school or the nation. Everywhere there is one supreme and plural subordinates. Similarly, when we serve Lord Krishna, then all the souls become happy because we are his part and parcels. So, and then, okay, after the third argument was sinful reactions. Actually, think about it. How can there be any sinful reaction? Lord Krishna is personally guiding him. But Arjuna, due to his soft nature, he thought there will be sin if we kill these people. But he also considered that these are aggressors, 6 kinds of aggressors. Poison giver, one who sets fire to house, attacks with deadly weapons, and plunders riches, and all these things. Kidnaps another's wife and occupies land. So Duryodhana had done all these things. So he deserves to be punished for all the sinful activities. So he's not incurring any sin. But out of his soft nature as a devotee, Arjuna is feeling like that. So if you see in the top, I have written Artha Shastra, Dharma Shastra, Parodharma. Today it will become even more clear when I explain the next session today. So Artha means money, and Dharma means religiosity. So Duryodhana is seeing from money point of view. I will finish Pandavas and enjoy the world, he's thinking. He doesn't care a fig for any. For such people like Duryodhana, they consider money to be God. Whereas Arjuna is seeing morality to be superior. My brothers and relatives may be money-minded, and for kingdom's sake, they may be ready to kill relatives also. But I don't want to be like them. Then how am I different from them? Like that, Arjuna is thinking like that. So on the dharma point of view. But Lord Krishna will explain what is parodharma. We will see that today. So this I briefly told you last time. 3 brothers, Kumbhakarna and Vibhishan, they both are brothers of Ravana, 10-headed Ravana. Ravana was a king of Lanka. And he was a very powerful fellow. And he did penance for Brahma. And he acquired many powers. And then because he acquired powers, he became very proud. And he started creating trouble in the world for others, especially looting other men's wives and things like that. So one time he looted Lord Rama's wife, kidnapped her, Sita. At that time, these 2 people responded differently. Kumbhakarna is one brother, Vibhishan is another brother of Ravana. Kumbhakarna said, why did you bring the Jagat Janani, or the mother of the universe, Sita, to Lanka? You didn't do right, my dear brother, like that Kumbhakarna said. Nevertheless, after all, you are my brother. Therefore, for your sake, I am ready to fight with Rama. But if I die in the battle, you should give back Sita. Like that Kumbhakarna said. Due to attachment to his brother, he fought the battle and he died in the battle. Whereas Vibhishan was an intelligent brother, devotee brother. He told, I cannot side with you because you are walking the path of religion, brother. Either you give up Sita, or I am, or I cannot stay with you. Then Ravana became angry and kicked off Vibhishan. Vibhishan went and joined Rama. So he walked the right path, Vibhishan. Spiritual path, Lord's path. He fulfilled Lord's will. And Ravana became angry with him. But Vibhishan didn't care. He said, you may claim to be brother, but you are not a proper brother. You are a cheating brother. You are breaking the laws of God. I don't want to be with you. That is Vibhishan. So Ravana did a moral blunder of stealing another man's wife. Kumbhakarna did ethical blunder of, for the blood relationship. He was ready to walk the sinful path. And Vibhishan walked the spiritual path, surrendered to Supreme Lord. He surrendered. I told you these things in the last class. And then, in this way, Yeah. So Arjuna was thinking one another fourth argument, destruction of family traditions. That if religious people pass away in the family, that the men die in the battle, then women will be alone, widows, and then they may have adultery with any man just for sake of money and comfort. And women may become polluted and simply eat, drink, and be merry, and the children born will be all degraded. Then what will happen to God and religion in such families? Whole family becomes like family of animals, cats and dogs and hogs. Like that, Arjuna was worrying. That was his worry. So family traditions will stop. So that was actually Arjuna was very intelligent in religious principles. He was thinking these things very deeply. See here, if you see here, the destruction of dynasty will lead to family tradition vanquished, family involved in a religion. In Varnashrama system, the elder members of the family, as is shown here, responsible for purifying process are called as sanskaras. And if they die, then the family becomes degraded without their guidance. Young members will become religious and they can't get salvation. Like that he thought. So, but Krishna talked from another point of view. He said that Paradharma is superior to Aparadharma. See the picture of the tree. There are so many different dharmas. Ashram dharma, Varna dharma, Kula dharma, Jati dharma, Nimitta dharma, Apa dharma, Stri dharma. These are all different type of dharma. So, like for example, Varna dharma means your teacher, administrator, trader, artisans. 4 categories of people are there and they have dharma according to their status. Ashram dharma means Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasa. 4 orders of spiritual orders. According to that, they have the respective dharmas. Now, Kula dharma means a person is born in a certain family and it's a mundane dharma, but in the family tradition, they follow, for example, they have a Kula Guru, they have a Kula Devata, and they have some worship, they have some small petty traditions they follow. Like that, with all these different things, there is a Rashtra Dharma for the nation, Jati Dharma for their caste. Or, so in the Stri Dharma, women's duties, Apa Dharma means emergency Dharma. Certain times, on emergency sake, one has to follow certain Dharma. So in this way, different Dharmas are there. But the topmost Dharma is to surrender to Supreme Lord Krishna, which Lord Krishna will teach in Bhagavad Gita. That is like a one-stroke method. So in such families, good families, all these different sanskaras or purificatory ceremonies take place. Arjuna was worried all this will stop. If elderly men die in the battle, then women may not know all these things and the family will become degraded. That was his worry. Like this he was thinking. And the other Mami, the women will become polluted. For money's sake, any man is ready to maintain them, they will go behind them and they'll get degraded. That was his worry. And then the children born in such families will be degraded children. They will ruin the society and nobody can, that's imperfection. Like that he was thinking. Arjuna, this kind of children may be born, trouble creating children and all that he thought. So this is what we did last time. Now today we are going to go to this 8th session. Why then Krishna being God did not stop the Kurukshetra war? That will be answered today. In another 15-20 minutes, I will answer that. It will become very clear now. Let me just share it with you. So, till now, things are clear for all of you? What I spoke till now? And the 4 reasons. So, at least we all should have a little reasoning understanding now about these 4 things which I told you, Arjuna told now. The first one was, compassion for the relatives. About that I spoke elaborately last time. We should never show false compassion. Violence has its place. Sometimes violence, sometimes non-violence. Whatever is required for upholding the proper dharma, one has to follow that. That I explained last time nicely. And the second reason was enjoyment. Actually, we are not the enjoyer. If we try to be enjoyer, we suffer in this world. Like for example, if the hand takes some eatable and then does like this, the hand cannot get nourishment. The hand has to put the food in the belly, which is like giving to God. Then when the hand gives food to belly, then the hand gets nourishment. Similarly, the living beings in this world can get happiness by serving God and God's instructions. Then we can become happy. Here, Arjuna is not thinking about God, he's thinking about my enjoyment, therefore he's crying. If hand is saying that, oh, why I am not getting nourishment, I am trying to massage the food. No, you can't get. He cannot get enjoyment without giving to belly. Without pleasing God, we cannot be happy in this world. For example, we sow the seed, but God gives the rains. Similarly, we can see that in this world, God is maintaining us with sunlight, moonlight, and grains and fruits and cereals and wind, everything, all these things. So he is taking care of us like a father, and it's our duty to abide by his laws for our own good. So, but when the living beings, there is a verse which one Vaishnava Kavi says, Krishna boli ase ye jeev bhoga vancha kare, nikatastha maya tare japatiya dhare. He says that when the living being gets into enjoying mode, let me enjoy independent of God, then he suffers. Here Arjuna also is portraying our condition, that if I win the unraveled kingdom, how will I enjoy? I can't impress any of my relatives, they all will be dead and gone, he's saying. So that is, that point is defeated because it's seen from enjoying mode. So I told about compassion, then enjoying mode. Third one was the sinful reactions. No, actually, if a soldier is fighting on behalf of the nation and defeating the enemies who are entering into the nation, and in this way defends the nation, he is not sinful. He is actually protecting the nation from the onslaught of the enemies who may come into the nation, into the country, and loot and cheat the people. So he is doing his dharma, he will not be incurred by sin. But the same man, on his personal account, kills his neighbor by shooting a neighbor, then he will be put behind the bars because it's a personal account. But on the country's account, he will not be victimized. Similarly, take a cashier in a bank. He may be receiving millions of dollars and putting it in the bank, and he may be lending out another several $5-10 million to those who are taking loan, but he is not victimized. But if he takes even a few $1,000s and puts it in his own pocket, then he will be put behind the bars because that is his personal account. A cashier should act on behalf of the bank, not cheat anything for himself. So as long as he acts on behalf of the bank, he is not sinful. But he acts in his own personal account, he is victimized. Soldier is acting on behalf of the country, then he is not victimized. When he's acting on his personal account, due to ego clash, is killing somebody, then he'll be put behind the bars. Similarly, Lord Krishna told, you act on my behalf, Arjun, and establish dharma, and destroy those who are perpetrators of adharma, and then you will not be victimized by sin. Because you are acting on my behalf, you are not acting for your own thing. So this is one of the main teachings of this Karma Yoga that Lord Krishna taught. So all of us in our lives also, if you are acting on behalf of the Lord, you will not incur sin at all. You become a free bird. You become free from entanglement. For example, like from the morning we get up till the time we go to sleep at night, we all are engaging in different activities. So we have to always ask question, this activity I am doing, is it in alignment with the Lord's will? For example, if somebody is doing a business which is against the Lord's will, for example, somebody is working for a liquor company, somebody is working for a slaughterhouse, somebody is working for a gambling casino. If any of us are doing such a job, we should seriously consider switching over from such a job to a job which will not inflict pain upon other living beings unnecessarily, or which will not be a sinful job. So many of the students are not aware of these things. Like one boy got a job in a this kind of company, big company, which is a very decent company, looking decent, but they are slaughtering animals, and they are making burger and all these things. He was joining the company. He thought they are paying him a fat salary. But later on he understood that there are 4 sinful activities we should give up. Illicit sex, meat eating, intoxication, gambling. These 4 should be given up. You can easily remember this. Gimme, you can remember. Gambling, illicit sex, meat eating, intoxication. So any jobs involving this, if you don't do, and you do honorable job and you earn money, and then use a portion of it for God's service, then you are not victimized person. So what job you do, similarly what we speak, what we think, what we act, we have to align with the Lord. And as Gita sessions go ahead, you will these things will become very clear to you. So in these 4 reasons Arjuna had given. Now, very important question is going to be answered now. Many people ask this question, therefore I made this one. Why Krishna being God did not stop the Kurukshetra war? People ask. So, see, Krishna was requested by Yudhishthira Maharaj, the chief of the Pandavas. He told Krishna that, my dear Lord, we were driven away to jungle, 12 years we lived, plus 1 more incognito. We have completed it. Now we are back now. We want our father's kingdom back. But if Duryodhana has become attached to the worldly kingdom and wants to keep it with himself, okay, we are ready to take only half the kingdom. Let him take half, let him give us half. So let us share and enjoy. And then he told her, if he is not ready even for that, let him give us 5 villages. We are all Kshatriyas, kings. So we will rule one village each, and we'll be contented and satisfied with that. And let him keep the rest of the world. So, like Arjuna is saying, Dhartarashtrasya durbuddher is saying. Durbuddhi means what? To encroach on others' property and loot it in order to increase one's own comfort. That is actually called as durbuddhi. Actually, each of us in this world, we are all proprietors of something. Some land, piece of land, some gold or wealth, some woman like wife. So one can possess, and that is permitted. You are allowed to marry. You are allowed to have a piece of land. You are allowed to possess some bank balance and live peacefully and be contented. But what happens in this world? People compare what I have with what others have. And if I cannot have like others by fair means, then people adopt a foul means to somehow get the other person's money by cheating, by looting, by threatening, or by war. They try to take other people's wealth. So this is actually called as durbuddhi. Now some of you may have a question. Is it wrong to be ambitious for someone to get more than what they have? After all, in this world, unless you have enough money and enough facilities, how can you enjoy life? People want. So therefore, we have to have a clear paradigm of life. According to the scriptures, every one of us, whatever you deserve is already given to you. You will get that. Nobody can take it away. If it is written in your account, with a very little effort, it will come to you. For example, a bird gets up in the morning, it has to just go 1 kilometer to the forest, and it can get a piece of fruit from the tree. It can pluck it and bring it back and then give it to the children in the nest. And he can also eat and live peacefully. Little effort he has to do. Similarly, each of you here, you all are doing job now. Yes, you can go for a job and you can earn money and you can put in the bank balance and you can enjoy that. But sometimes job holders think, I want to be an entrepreneur like that fellow, and I want to make 100 times more money, which is not wrong. You can make an effort. But sometimes hard work alone cannot make us millionaire or billionaire, a trillionaire or zillionaire. Hard work alone cannot do that, because every one of us is destined with some amount of wealth, which is given to you. And if you do some hard work, you may get little more, but not extraordinary. For example, recently, Anil Ambani, in his family, a grandchild is born, one grandson. Now the small kid is just opening the eyes now. Immediately he became owner of billions of dollars. Immediately, as soon as he was born now. He didn't attain that money by too much hard work. He just got it as soon as he was born. Similarly, all of you think for a moment, the face cut you have, the pigment of the skin color you have, and the intelligence you have, and the parents to whom you are born. These are not decided by you. The child who was born in the Ambani family, he didn't say that I want to be born in Ambani's family. He was given that position. So these are all awarded to you based on your previous actions in the previous lives. They are given as destiny. At the same time, after receiving these gifts, what you are going to do with them is in your hands. That is not, your actions are not controlled by God. Your facilities are controlled by God. The facilities you have received now in this life are based on the previous good actions and bad actions. But after providing you these things, God has left you. Now you decide what you want to do with this. You can misuse it or you can rightly use it. Similarly, Duryodhana, for example, he is not the king. Dhritarashtra is not the king. He was a blind fellow. And his brother Pandu was the king. So Pandu and Pandu's sons Pandavas are becoming king. So if I am Duryodhana, for example, what I should do? I can tell my Pandava brothers, I'm sorry I sent you to the forest, now you come back, take the kingdom, you all rule the kingdom. And if you can give me also some portion to rule, I can also rule. And I used to be happily ready to share half also. We will rule half the kingdom, you rule half the kingdom. He's a sharing leader, empowering leader, sharing leader. He is not a greedy leader. So then I can accept whatever they are giving and be happy. Why should you think that let me take away all his property and finish them all? That is totally Durubuddhi, or bad intelligence Duryodhana had. So greedy people become like that. I've seen in India, sometimes rich families also, when the property division happens, there are 3 brothers or 4 brothers. So the eldest brother sometimes becomes very unruly. He wants to keep major portion of the 60% of the property of his father, he wants to keep it. And the other brothers, he just gives them 10% and cheats them. There's a big fight in the family that breaks out because of property division and it's all because of proprietorship mentality. You can see that. Because people become greedy, like children also sometimes snatch the toys of other children and tell the other children, get lost. So that is a very bad mentality. That greed for, therefore it is said when we go from need to greed, we have to bleed. So that's why Duryodhana had to bleed in the war and we finished completely because of their greedy mentality. So that's one thing we learn. So the war could be stopped. So Krishna went as a peace messenger. Neither Dhritarashtra nor Duryodhana were interested in stopping the war because they thought, we are very mighty now, we will finish the Pandavas and enjoy, unravel the kingdom. That was their idea, foolish idea. So, in fact, probably some of you may be aware, when Krishna went as a messenger, on either side of Krishna, there was Satyaki and Kritavarma, 2 of the Yadus went with him. So as they entered the palace, Satyaki leaned towards Krishna and said, when they were sitting, Krishna, I heard that Duryodhana has hatched a plot to capture you. And Krishna laughed and said, you see, even all the millions of demigods put together cannot capture me. How can this one tiny tot Duryodhana do anything? He laughed. So this is another very important thing. Lord Krishna's divinity was known to the Pandavas. Arjuna therefore says, Param Brahma Param Dhama Pavitram Paramam Bhavan Purusham Shashvatam Divyam Adi Devam Ajam Vibhum Ahustvam Rishayah Sarve Devarashirnaradastatha Asito Devalo Vyaso Swayam Chaiva Bravishime Sarvametat Ritam Manye Yanmam Vadasi Keshava Nahi te Bhagavan Vyaktim Vidur Devanadhanavaha. Like that Arjuna is saying, my dear Krishna, you are the supreme personality of Godhead. You are the supreme purifier, supreme abode, and all the rishis like Narada, Asita, Devala, Vedavyasa, they all are accepting that you are the supreme. And now you yourself are declaring it to me. And you are not just saying with the mouth, you opened your mouth and you showed the whole universe in your belly to your mother Yashoda. And in the battlefield of Kurukshetra also, Krishna showed Vishwarupa Darshan, the big universal form to Arjuna. So all the Pandavas were very clearly aware that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. And we have to He is our well-wisher, he is a father of religious principles. Whatever he says is good for all humanity. They were knowing. But you find those who are sinful people and atheistic people, you will find that they will want to become competitor with Krishna. Like there was one Swami in India, a famous Swami. People like that. He says, why are you searching for God in the temple? God is loitering in the street. There are so many gods loitering in the street. Why do you search for God in the temple? He said. And some people say, oh, he's a learned Swami. He's saying all of us are gods. That's wonderful, people think. But this fellow doesn't know what he's talking about. He doesn't know who is God, what is the power of God. He doesn't know anything. Like ask yourself, any of you, touch your heart and say, are you God? Are you controlling the sun and moon? Are you controlling the stars and the wind? Are you controlling the rain and the growth of the grains? Are we doing any of this? We are insignificant compared to the very huge forces in this creation. I confidently know that I am not the controller of the universe. I am in fact aware that everything is created by God and put here, and He has made this beautiful world. In fact, if He doesn't provide for me, I can't even survive. Daily grains I am eating, water I am drinking, sunlight I am taking, the rain shower I am taking. Without these things, I can't even survive. What kind of God are we? We are simply insignificant children of God. We are not God. So, but those who are sinful people, envious people, they will, like this Swami I was telling you. He say, why do you bring in Krishna as God? He was a great human being. He was a great king. And we are also great human beings. I have done these things. So I am also God. This is a sinful mentality. People who are sinful. Therefore, Krishna says, Namam dushkritino mudha prapadyante naradhama maya apahrita jnana asuram bhavamashitaha. Krishna is telling that those who are fools and low-class persons who are sinful fellows, they claim to be God themselves. So, although they are ordinary human beings, there are even nowadays many so-called incarnations in India, cheaters who claim to be God. So immediately you should tell them, open your mouth and show the universe in your belly. You should ask them. Or outside show the Vishwarupa, like what Lord Krishna showed. Or catch their hands and see there are 16 symbols should be there in the hand and the feet also. Catch and check, or do you have the symbols in the hand or the feet? If it is not, you are not God, you are a cheater. So Srila Prabhupada, he wrote about saints and swindlers. True saints are also there, but there are swindlers who are cheaters. We should not get cheated by them. The first qualification of a saint is he will never say, I am God. He will always say, I am servant of God. And another qualification of a saint is not a person who simply gives you some blessings for material goods. Okay, you will have a good academic scores. You will get the success in your business. You will have enjoyments. That is not a saint. Actually, there are many people going to saints and temples for this. Whatever you are due, you will get in life. Don't worry. Ultimately, God is in supreme control. He will provide you whatever you deserve. But a saint is a person who will help you to go from the material world to spiritual world. He will connect you to God, and he will awaken your loving relationship with God. And then once that relationship is awakened, you will become the happiest person in the world. You will have nothing to lose and nothing to gain. You will be always happy in Lord's company. And that is the duty of a saint. So, therefore, you are saying that Kauravas headed by Duryodhana were so unruly. They were not ready for giving half the kingdom, not even 5 villages. Duryodhana shamelessly said, I can't give even a land on the tip of a needle. Like that he spoke. So then, what was his plan? When Krishna was speaking in the court, at one point of time, Duryodhana clapped the hands like this. And immediately thousands of soldiers came from all the doors. And also a cage fell from the top and to arrest Krishna. And immediately Krishna grew up. He showed the universal form. You find I'll just show you briefly. So in the battlefield of Kurukshetra also, Krishna revealed.
आपकी शक्ति, आपका ज्ञान, इस स्वरूप का दर्शन दीजिए माँ।
And also,
Yes,
Yes,
we
ma'am.
heard it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, as you saw, this is the Virat Rupa or Vishwarupa. Vishwarupa that Krishna showed to Arjuna, the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So, I didn't explain to you the details. You see, in this, what happened was in the beginning, the five tattvas were shown, earth, water, fire, air, ether. They are all produced by the Lord. Then Brahma, appears in the lotus, you must have seen, and all the sperms are coming out, if you see there. That's the creation of all the living entities, creation of all living beings. And Brahma takes water in the hand and throws like that. Then all the living beings are created. And after that, Shiva appears at the end of the universe. Then he withdraws everything. When he wakes up, Shiva waking up means he does the Tandava, the dance. And he withdraws everything in the universe. He winds up. And in between, the universe is maintained by the Lord. And all the Panchamahabhutas, the earth, water, fire, ether are produced. So everything was shown by Krishna. Towards the end, you will find in his own body, Krishna is showing, Shiva, Brahma, Indra, Chandra, Varuna, Vayu, all the great demigods is showing. In a similar manner, when Krishna came to the court of Kauravas, when he saw that they are trying to arrest him, Krishna grew in size. Like the last picture I showed you, Krishna, this tall form, that type of form Krishna showed. At that time, the oceans were rising with high tides. The stars from the sky were falling down. And there was a loud proclamation of the glories of the Lord and shower of the flowers by the demigods. And from Krishna's eyes, from one eye, Arjuna came and another eye, Balram came. And behind Krishna, all the Pandavas were present. And all the devatas like Yamaraja or Varuna were sitting on the shoulders of the Lord. Indra, Varuna, Yama, and they were all sitting. They're called Lokapalas. And also Lord Shiva emerged from in the chest of Krishna, and Brahma emerged from his head. So in this way, very miraculous things Krishna showed. And all the devatas with folded palms are praying to the Lord, oh Lord, protect us, Pahimam, Rakshamam, Rakshamam. At that time, there was a flower shower from the heaven over the Lord. Huge form, earth to sky form he showed. At that time, all of them like Bhishma, Drona, Vidura, everybody fell flat on the ground and offered namaskar. Whole world was offering, all devatas were offering obeisances. At that time, Dhritarashtra asked, Sanjaya, tell me, what is the sound going on? And what is happening? He said, Lord Krishna is showing a great Adbhuta Darshan. Then immediately Dhritarashtra prayed, oh Lord Krishna, please give me the vision to see you. Then Krishna also said, Tadastu. He blessed him. And immediately Dhritarashtra's eyes opened and he also saw the form and he also offered namaskar. After that, Dhritarashtra said, my Lord, such a beautiful form you showed us. Take back my eyes so that I'll remember this form in my mind always. That's what he said. After everything was over, everything became normal. Now Krishna said, if you guys are not ready to give back the land, even a part of it, then the war is inevitable, then you have to suffer. He said, and he was about to leave. At that time, Duryodhana was turning to Karna and asking, what is this magic that Krishna showed now? He's asking. He's thinking it is some magic. He did not know that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. So now, therefore, the war proceeded. Now let's go to the PPT here. Now, what is said in the Srimad Bhagavatam, which I will show you just now. Just a minute. Yeah, you can see the PPT now. See, when Lord Krishna was standing in the war, all those who saw him in the battle, simply by glancing at him, they went back to Godhead. That is said in this verse. See, here is the verse I am quoting here. Tataiva chanye naraloka vira yaha gave Krishna mukhara vindam netrai pivanto nayana viramam parthastra bhuta padamapurasya. This verse says, certainly others who were fighters in the battlefield of Kurukshetra were purified by the onslaught of Arjuna's arrows. Partha astra means Arjuna's arrows. Putaha, they became purified. Padam apurasya, they went back to Godhead, it says. And while seeing the lotus-like face of Krishna, so pleasing to the eyes, they achieved the abode of the Lord. it says. How? Because Lord Krishna is Supreme Lord, and on his order Arjuna sent the arrows, and all the sinful people's chest was pierced by these arrows, and as soon as the divine arrows of Arjuna touched their chest, all the sinful reactions were absorbed. They were rendered free from sin, and they were also glancing at Lord Krishna, so they went back to Godhead. Just like, for example, say you have a hot frying pan. In that you sprinkle water. So what will happen to that water? Whether it will immediately dry up. Is it not true? In the same manner, the sinful reactions in the bodies of the soldiers was immediately it was dried up when the arrow pierced their chest, because the arrow was a divine arrow sent by the order of Krishna. So the sinful reactions were absorbed, removed, and at the same time they were also watching Krishna with their eyes, and they perfected their lives. Immediately they went back to Godhead, it is said. So although crores of soldiers died in the battle, all of them attained perfection. That is one verse. That's another verse I am quoting here. Vijayarata kutumba adatotre adrita hayarashminita shriye kshaniye bhagavati ratirastu me mumurshor yamiha niriksha hata gataha sarupam. See the last line. Yam iha niriksha, those who are glancing at Krishna. Hata gataha swarupam. Hata means to kill. Gataha means attained. Swarupam, they attained their own original forms in the spiritual world. So one of you can read the translation, please. Yeah.
At the moment of death, let my ultimate attraction be to Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead. I concentrate my mind upon Arjuna's chariot driver, who stood with the whip in his right hand and a bridle rope in his left, and who was very careful to give protection to Arjuna's chariot by all means. Those who saw him on the battlefield of Kurukshetra attained their original forms after death.
No, the last line says, those who saw him on the battlefield of Kurukshetra attained their original forms after. That means all the warriors on either side, those who are seeing Krishna and who are killed in the battlefield, they all attained the spiritual world. So nobody suffered, everybody attained perfection. These two slokas says that. So here I have shown three pictures for you. Duryodhana is acting on the platform of Adharma, which is like a dark room. Adharma is completely pitch dark. It's a mundane. And Arjuna is talking from the point of view of dharma, but mundane dharma. That is like a lamp kept in a dark room. So Arjuna is saying that, ethical considerations. He said, okay, Krishna, my relatives are walking the wrong path, but after all, my blood relatives, I should protect them. But the point is, okay, sir, they are your blood relatives, but now you are thinking of them to be brother. When you die in this life, and then next time you are born in some other family, they won't be your brothers. Like today, I am born in India, but tomorrow I can be, when I die and leave the body, and I can be born in another country. So our connection to the nation, our connection to a certain family, that is temporary. Therefore, this dharma that Arjuna is talking is mundane. So our only identity is we are Jiva Swarupa Krishna Nityadas. We are eternal part and parcels of Lord Krishna. That is eternal. That's why I see the third one, Paro Dharma. Spiritual is, and that is like a sunlight. Because Arjuna's relation to Krishna will never end. It is eternal. Even all of you, you are a soul, servant of God. You will never die, God will never die, your relationship will never die. And that is Paro Dharma, acting on that platform. So how can you take a lamp and try to see the sun? So Arjuna is trying to give his dharma to Krishna, which is a mundane dharma. But Krishna is teaching Paro Dharma in the battlefield. And Arjuna was adharma. Now let us see more understanding of this. See? Here Ravana is saying, I will enjoy any woman I want. I don't care for dharma. He's adharma. And Kumbhakarna is saying, oh, he is my blood brother. I am born in the same family, so I will work for my brother. That is mundane dharma. Whereas Vibhishan is saying, oh, God is the father of all jivas, all the souls. So I will do my duty to God and citizen. That is better than duty to sinful brother. That is Paro Dharma. So you understand these three examples. Here you see, Duryodhana is thinking, I will give Karna, the small Angadesh, and put him in my pocket to destroy Arjuna and other Pandavas in future. Like this Duryodhana did in one occasion. He wanted to keep Karna in his pocket always, because he had a a dharmic plan. Whereas Arjuna, I mean, here this is Karna and Krishna and Karna. Krishna told Karna, don't side with Duryodhana. Come and join the Pandavas. You are the eldest Pandava. You are Kunti's son who was put in a box and sent away during the time of your birth. Now Kunti has come and spoken to you. So join hands with Pandavas. Krishna and Karna understood that Krishna is saying for my welfare, but he could not follow because he was attached to his mundane friendship with Duryodhana. So therefore is mundane dharma. And then parodharma means Karna followed his sentimental mind attached to his so-called friend Duryodhana and could not accept the invitation of Krishna to join the Pandavas. Thus he got destroyed. Vibhishan could follow parodharma or spiritual dharma, but Karna could not follow due to mental attachments. Yeah. Similarly, here I have shown one instance when Ravana went to one Maricha and said, I want to loot Sita, kidnap Sita, Rama's wife, and I want your help. So you come and in the form of a deer and you take Rama away. At that time I will loot Sita. But Maricha said, no, I don't want to do that, I'm afraid. So Ravana said, if you don't oblige to me, I will kill you right away now. Then Maricha said, instead of dying at your hands, better die in Rama's hands, he said. So then Maricha went to the Panchavati forest and he assumed the form of a golden deer. And then Rama was chasing after the deer in the forest while Sita was in the cottage. And then at one point of time, this Maricha loudly shouted, hey Sita, hey Lakshman. And then Sita became afraid. Maybe it is Rama in trouble. Immediately she wanted Lakshman to go. Lakshman said, there is no trouble for Ram. But she insisted, so Lakshman went. In the meantime, Ravana came and kidnapped Sita. You all know this. But you will see that Maricha was killed by Rama's arrow. But while dying, he shouted, hey Sita, hey Lakshman, and he served the purpose of Ravana. Maricha died at the hand of Rama, but he served the purpose of Ravana. That means who is he serving? Is he serving Ram or is he serving Ravan? What do you think? Yeah?
Ravan.
He is serving Ravan. On the other hand, I will show you another example. See this example. Jatayu, the eagle, helped Sita, if you see, as you see in the picture here. Jatayu actually told Ravana that you cannot take Sita and go ahead when you are kidnapping Sita. So Ravana said, oh, old eagle, get off my way. Otherwise I'll kill you. But Jatayu fought a valiant battle. He cut off the armor of Ravana. He killed the mule that was drawing Ravana's chariot. Then Ravana took his sword and cut off one of the wing of Jatayu. And when Sita was weeping, again Jatayu flew with another wing. Came to the top again. And when Ravana cut both the wings, then Jatayu fell and died. But at that time, Rama and Lakshmana came and performed the final rites. And Rama said, Jatayu, for my sake, you have given your life. Today only I will send you to the spiritual world. Rama gave him the blessing, as you see in the picture here. So here if you see, so Jatayu died in whose hands?
Ravan's hands.
Ravana killed Jatayu. Whereas, but Jatayu was serving whom? He was serving Ravana or Rama?
Lord Ram.
That is the point. So although he was killed by Ravana, he was serving Ram. Whereas Maricha was killed by Ram but serving Ravana. So in our life, we have to make sure that, our master whom we serve should be the Supreme Lord. So in this way, you find that, we have completed this session. So you will see in this session, Kumbhakarna died at the hand of Rama, but he was serving whom? Kumbhakarna, any of you? Anybody else can tell me? Already Alek answered the question. Somebody else can answer. Kumbhakarna was serving whom?
Ravana.
He was serving Ravana, although he died in the hand of Ram. Whereas Vibhishan, you will see, he refused to serve Ravana. He said, I will serve Ram. So he went and joined Rama's party. You will see that. So in this way, Vibhishan followed Paro Dharma. Prahlad, there is one great Prahlad and Hiranyakashipu pastime. Prahlad didn't serve his Hiranyakashipu father, demon. He served Lord Krishna. So in our life also, this is the lesson we take today. There is a adharma, dharma, paro dharma. Adharma is Duryodhana. And dharmic principles are spoken by Arjuna. And Krishna is teaching paro dharma. And Arjuna is talking mundane dharma. Krishna is speaking spiritual dharma. Mundane dharma is like a candle. Spiritual dharma is like the sun. So, for example, to be with parents and say, I will not go to the war if a soldier is crying, that is adharma. And if a soldier is saying, I will go to the war and fight for the nation, that is dharma. But if somebody says, I will surrender to God, and for his sake, I will fight the battle like Arjuna, that becomes paro dharma. So in this way, going from adharma to dharma to paro dharma, that is a lesson for today. And all the warriors were saved in the battle and they all went back to Godhead by simply glancing at Krishna. That's a lesson we learned today. So thank you very much. We have exceeded the time today. And because I had to revise what we did in the previous class, therefore it took a little longer while. If any of you have any questions, you can write to me and I'll be most happy to respond to you. So now one more lesson, we'll finish Dignity for Women. That will be the next class. With this, the chapter 1 will be over. Then we will be proceeding to the chapter 2. When you go to chapter 2, the philosophy of the soul will be very nicely explained with many illustrations and everything. It will become clearer. So the first chapter has many details of the Mahabharata. So some of you may not know them and you may find it a little difficult to remember too many things, but don't worry. From the second chapter, it will be much more easy. And that's the reason every class I'm trying to a little bit revise the previous class. So when you go to the second chapter onwards, many valuable life lessons will come. And the next class also, what is the position of woman and man, and whatever misunderstandings are there, they'll be cleared. In the next session, Dignity for Women, as Bhagavad Gita speaks about it. Thank you. Hare Krishna.